Welcome to another episode of Metal Mastermind. In this video, we're going to give you 3 very powerful songwriting tips so that you can write songs that sound more original and not sound like anything else that's already out there, and also not sound like everything else that you've already written. Writing your own music, your own lyrics, your own compositions, it is the absolute most rewarding thing that you can do as a musician. Whether you're the singer, the guitar player, the bassist, the drummer, whether you're a solo artist or you're in a band, writing your own music, having your music and not having to play cover songs all the time, it's the absolute most rewarding thing because it's part of your legacy. So I just wanted to preface this conversation before we get into these 3 tips, because these tips I believe are really going to help you get to that next level, and again, help bring out that originality and authenticity that you already have within you. We're just going to pull it right out. That's what this video is for. So let's get into the 3 tips, but real quick, make sure you hang around till the end of the video. We've got some more powerful strategies and some tools that we want to share with you at the end, so hang around for that. Tip number 1 is don't write every song in the same key, okay? And don't start every song with the same note. Now, if you're a metal guitar player watching this, this can be our downfall. We tend to start everything in that lowest note possible, which kind of ends up being in that same key almost every song. And that's usually, of course, if you're in standard tuning, it's the key of E minor. And if you're tuned down or tuned to whatever else, it's still going to be that lowest note possible. We just tend to gravitate towards that. A lot of times, or I'd say even most of the time, that's okay. But if every song on your album starts with that same note and in that same key, well, they're all going to sound alike. Track 2 will sound like track 4, and then track 7, and so forth. And you get where I'm going with this. And you're probably thinking of albums right now as I'm talking about this that do that. It's like every song kind of sounds the same. So a couple of practical methods that you can use here is, number 1, simply start with a different note. As you're writing this song, whatever song you're working on, try starting it in a different key or with a different note. Instead of going to that heaviest note possible, which again, that's your E power chord if you're in standard tuning, maybe play an F sharp or an A. Let's hear how that sounds real quick. So already that changes up the vibe. It changes things up a little bit. It sounds like a different song. Another thing you can do is simply implement key changes into your songs. And this is really powerful. This really takes your song to that next level and just makes it sound like an awesome composition. So how you would do this is, let's say the majority of your songs do start out in that heaviest, with that heaviest note possible and in that heavy key there per se, E minor if you're in standard tuning. Try integrating some key changes in the middle of the song, like maybe for the pre-chorus, or maybe the chorus goes to a completely different key. So here's an example you can hear of that. So that really gives your song more dynamics, and it just makes it more interesting, and it's going to reduce the risk on your song sounding like another song or any song that you've already written. Tip number 2, and guys, this one's going to be a little hard to swallow if you're a guitar player watching this. I'm a guitar player, so I got to swallow this as well. Now, of course, if you're the bassist or the drummer or the vocalist or keyboard player, you're going to be like, yeah, you tell them. Here's the thing, not every song that you put out has to be strictly based on the guitar. Now that might mean the guitar maybe doesn't play throughout the entire song. And listen, I know we're talking about metal music here, and typically it's just full-on metal guitar the whole way through. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But there are 2 things I want you to think about when you're writing your music. Maybe the guitar doesn't need to be so busy throughout the entire song. Maybe the guitar kind of holds back in certain areas. Maybe throughout the chorus, for example. Okay, you want the vocals to shine a little bit there. You want those lyrics to shine and just kind of be brought forward. So maybe the guitar isn't as busy. Now, the other thing is maybe there are certain parts of the song where you pull the guitar out. Nightwish is a great example of this. And again, I know different styles call for different things. Maybe you're in more of an extreme metal band or black metal band where it is guitar all the way through. Again, that's okay. This is just something for you to consider. That's all I'm saying here. But just understand that you want your song to have dynamics. And if the guitar is just full on all the way through for every single song that you write, it's not going to have those dynamics. So give the song room to breathe in certain parts. Give the other instruments room to do their parts as well. Maybe you want a bass solo, like between a chorus and a bridge or something like that. Maybe you've got a part where there just needs to be this really awesome drum fill. I'm thinking like the intro to Painkiller by Judas Priest. Really awesome drums that just come in and start the song out. So understand that to have dynamics, you need to allow the song and the other instruments besides the guitar room to breathe and to do their thing. So again, that's just something to consider to prevent your music and your songs from sounding like everything or anything else out there. And of course, again, to not sound like everything that you've already written. Tip number 3 is be open to constructive criticism. This is tough, and there's a little caveat to this as well. Make sure that that criticism is coming from someone that you respect, that's going to be honest with you, and that's not just going to blow smoke or just trying to tear you down either way, because neither one of those are any good for you. But however, be open to someone that maybe you know that's a professional musician or someone that you look up to, again, that's going to be honest with you, and accept that criticism. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to take the advice, but just be willing to absorb that and think about that. That's kind of what producers do with bands and musicians. And again, it may not be something that you change. It may not be something that you're like, you know what, no, I get the advice, I understand it, but I'm dead set on doing this thing right here my way, this part of the song or this song or whatever the case may be. That's okay, but allowing for that constructive criticism to take place, it can help you because it does help to have a different perspective coming in for your music, for your song. Someone else sitting back, you know, kind of looking at things from the bird's eye view can tell you, well, you know, this album sounds good, but your songs all kind of sound the same. You may not see that right away. You may not hear that because you're deep into the process. You're in the trenches, so to speak. So you can't really see what's going on, what's surrounding you there as far as your music goes. Whereas someone looking at it from their perspective, a different perspective, they're not emotionally attached to the music the way you are because you're writing it. Us musicians, we're emotional, let's just be honest. But they can give you a little bit different perspective. And again, you may or may not take the advice, or you may not take the direct advice, but that advice may lead to making a different decision in a song or part of a song or the album. It can help you. So just be open to taking the constructive criticism, but again, not just from anyone, from someone that you trust musically, that has experience in the music industry or has some sort of experience in bands or being an artist, even if they're just a local person that gigs. Someone who's going to be honest with you, not blow smoke, not tell you everything is great because they're your friend, but also not try to tear you down because they see you trying to step ahead. Sometimes people can do that. So I hope this part made sense. I know it's kind of a catch-22, it seems like. Well, you want to do things your way, but sometimes having that input from someone, if you have someone like that, that can really help just push you to that next level and push you to be a little bit better. Now, I promised you some helpful tools at the end of this video, so here they are. So in the description of this video, you're going to find a few links. Number one, if you don't have our free metal songwriting guide, grab that. It's a PDF file that you'll download. It's just some really good, helpful advice. Save that somewhere and refer to that when you start writing music and start writing songs. It's going to help you. We also have a couple of courses for you to take. One is called the Metal Songwriting Crash Course. This is an intro to metal songwriting. It's an introductory course. It's just going to kind of help you get your feet wet in the songwriting process. Now, if you're an experienced songwriter, meaning you've got at least one release out there, or you're on the edge of getting that out there, maybe you're a solo artist, you're in a working band, you guys are active and you're doing stuff, and you want to take your songwriting to the next level and you're serious about it, then Metal Songwriters Forge is going to be the course that you need to jump into like right now. That's going to boost your songwriting skills like you would not believe. So that'll be the final link that you see of the 3 in the description of this video. So check those out. Again, all those links are in the description of this video. The free guide, the Metal Songwriting Crash Course, and Metal Songwriters Forge. That's for serious musicians, because we've actually had someone complain about that course, saying that it's got too much information. This is like taking a college course. So of course we applaud that. Thank you for that that complaint. Anyway, check those out in the description and stay tuned for our next video. We're actually going to do a follow-up video to this one, but we're gonna tackle vocals. So that's going to be very interesting. So expect that to come out the next 3 to 4 days. Guys, thank you so much for watching our video. Please give this a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to Metal Mastermind, and we will talk again very soon.